Hello everyone. Welcome back to your English class. Let's start a new lesson today. We are going to read about the little bully. Children, do you know of any child who teases others or pushes them around? What would you call such a child? Have you ever come across children who tease you or trouble you? Who hit you for no reason, pinch you? We all are surrounded with such children, and these children are called bully. Bully is a person who habitually seeks to harm those who they perceive as vulnerable. Not all the children are same. Some children are introvert while the others are extrovert. So a bully is a person who actually treats the other person badly. Let's read this story and see how Hari, a little boy, troubles other children. Once upon a time, not so very long ago, there was a small boy called Hari. Although he wasn't very big, he was strong and he loved to tease all the boys and girls who went to school with him. What he loved to do most was to pinch. He could make a big bruise appear in half a second. Another trick he played was pricking people with a pin. So there was this boy called Hari, and Hari was the little bully about whom the story is. So once upon a time, this boy called Hari, who was not very big, but he was strong. What he loved to do the most? He loved to tease everyone around. He loved to pinch them. And also, he pinched people so hard that he made a big mark appear in just half a second. Another trick that he played was he used to prick people with a pin. So you can guess how all the children hated him. They tried pinching him back, but that was no good because he could always pinch harder. They didn't like telling their teacher because that was telling tales. It so happened that the class went for a picnic to the seaside for a whole day. All the children were most excited. So, children, how do you feel about someone who would pinch you continuously, who would tease you, who would prick you with a pin? You would not like to be with that person. So the same thing happened with Hari. None of the children liked him. They all tried to pinch him back. But since Hari was a strong boy, he always pinched others harder. And they all did not like to tell the teacher because this was like telling stories. And one day the class went for a picnic to the seaside and all the children were excited. Let's give a quick recap to the story. The story is about Hari, who was not so big but he was a strong boy. He used to tease all the children around and no one liked to be with him. He used to prick them and he used to pinch them. They did not tell this to their teacher because they did not want to be telling tales. And then one day they all went for a picnic. Children, look at this picture on your screen and see how happy Hari is pinching the poor girl and how scared the other children are. Let's look at the meaning of the difficult words from this page. Teases means to make fun of or attempt to provoke playfully. Troubles are problems or difficulties. To pinch means to press hard or squeeze between the ends of the fingers. Bruise is an injury which appears as a mark on the body. Trick is to make someone believe something that is not true. Prick is to make small holes in the surface of something in a way that causes pain. For example, the little boy pricked me with a pin. Tales means stories, and excited is enthusiastic or eager. Let us continue reading from the book. On that day, the sun shone bright, and all the children were wild with excitement. They crowded into the train and sat down, but nobody wanted to sit next to Hari because he always pinched. So, on that day, when they had gone for a picnic, it was a bright sunny day, and the sun was shining bright. And all the children were really excited. They were all happy. And they all rushed, they crowded and sat into the train. But guess what? Nobody sat with Hari. And the reason is pretty clear, because Hari was a bully. He used to pinch everyone. He used to tease everyone. So naturally, he did not have too many friends. When they arrived at the seaside, out jumped all the children with a shout of joy. Down to the sands they raced, hand in hand. But nobody took Hari's hand. Nobody went near him. Hari was angry. He went to a sandy corner near a rocky pool and sat down by himself. He took out his lunch and looked at it. It was a good lunch. There were 2 hard-boiled eggs, 6 jam sandwiches, 3 pieces of bread and butter, a ginger cake, and a bar of chocolate. He would eat it all by himself. He wouldn't offer anything to anyone. So after a wonderful ride in the train, they all arrived at the seaside. They jumped out and they all shouted with joy. And they all walked towards the sand, each one holding the other friend's hand. But nobody held Hari's hand. Nobody went near him. So this made Hari angry. So he went to a sandy corner alone and sat down by himself. Sat down by himself means he was all alone. He took out his lunch and looked at it. It was a good lunch, and the menu really seems exotic. And I can't believe such a small child would eat so much. But anyway, he took out his lunch and he ate all by himself. He wouldn't offer anything to anyone. So that is also one of the reasons, because he did not share anything with anyone, he had no friends. Let's look at the difficult words from this page. Shone is the past tense of shine, and it means to give out a bright light. Wild with excitement means extremely happy. Arrived is to reach a place at the end of a journey. Sandy is covered in sand, and wouldn't is a contraction of would not. And children, as I've already told you, you should read the contractions as they're given. Let us read further. Just as he was beginning on the eggs, he heard a hoarse voice near him. Good morning. I am so pleased to meet a boy like you. Hari turned around and stared in fright. Whatever do you think he saw? Hari saw a monster crab walking sideways out of the pool. His eyes were on the ends of the short stalks and he looked most queer. He held out his front claw to Hari. Hari put out his hand to shake the crab's claw. But to his surprise and anger, the crab opened his pincers and nipped his hand so hard that the little boy yelled. Just when Hari was starting to relish his eggs, he heard a very rough and deep sounding voice near him. It was the monster crab. The monster crab wished Hari good morning and told him that it was pleased to meet him. So Hari was shocked. He actually was in fear because he had never seen something like that. So what did Hari see? Hari saw that the monster crab was walking sideways. He came out of the water. Harry could not take off his eyes and he kept looking at the short stalks of the crab. It looked odd, it looked queer. So he held out his front claw to Harry and Harry put out his hand, but Harry was surprised and angry because the crab opened his pincers and bit Harry's hand. And in pain, Harry yelled, shouted loudly.
"Ah, here is my good cousin,"
said the crab pleasantly. And to Harry's horror, he saw a large sandy lobster crawling heavily out of the pool. Before the little boy could stop him, the lobster took his hand in his great pincer like claws and pinched it so hard that Harry yelled in pain. So the crab happily bit Harry, and Harry was horrified. He was scared, and he also saw a large sandy lobster coming out of the pool. And before Harry could stop the lobster, it took his hand and bit Harry. The lobster pinched Harry so hard that Harry yelled in pain. He cried in pain. The meanings of difficult words from this page are hoarse, rough and deep sounding. Pleased is happy or satisfied. Stared is to look fixedly with wide open eyes. Fright is a sudden intense feeling of fear. Monster is a large, ugly and frightening creature. Sideways is from the side. Stalks is the main stem. Queer means something that is strange or odd. Claw is a curved pointed horny nail. Pincers, gripping tool. Nipped is pinched and yelled is to shout in a loud, sharp way. Let us continue reading from the book. Then he stared at the pool in surprise, for out came sandy colored shrimps and prawns, more crabs and another large lobster, and they pricked Harry till he was soon black and blue with their pinching.
"Don't you like it?"
said all the creatures in surprise.
"Why, we were told that you would love to see us because you were a champion pincher and pricker yourself. Come, come, join in the fun."
Harry leapt to his feet, crying loudly. His lunch rolled into the pool, and when the crabs and lobsters saw it, they ran to it and began to feast eagerly. Harry saw that they had forgotten him for a time, and he turned and ran for his life, tears streaming down his cheeks. So it was not just the crab and the lobster. Sandy colored shrimps and prawns and more crabs and another large lobster came. They all pricked Harry till he was black and blue. He had bruises all over his body. And then the creatures started teasing Harry. Then Harry leapt to his feet and he started crying. His lunch was into the water. All the crabs and lobsters went back to the pool to eat the lunch. As soon as Harry saw that all the shrimps and crabs had gone back to the water, he ran to save himself. But he was crying. They only did to me what I keep doing to the other children, he thought. But how it hurt, and how I hated those crabs and lobsters. I suppose the other children hate me too. Well, I jolly well shan't pinch or prick any more. So in the end, Harry was taught a good lesson. He knew that what he was doing to the other children was bad. he did not like the crabs and the lobsters because they hurt him, they pinched him. Similarly, when he hurt the other children, they hated him too. And then Hari learned a lesson. He realized his mistake and he promised that he wouldn't pinch or prick anymore. So that is the story of the little bully, Hari. Children, remember, what goes around comes around. Hari behaved badly with others. He teased them, pinched them, pricked them, hurt them. And what happened to Hari in the end? He was taught a good lesson by the nature himself. So, children, be good to others. Always. It's time for us to know the meaning of difficult words from this page. So, champion is a person who has surpassed all the rivals. Leapt is the past tense and past participle of leap, which means to jump. Feast is to eat or drink. Streaming is a continuous flow. Jolly well is used for emphasis, especially when one is angry or irritated. Shan't is the contraction of shall not. Children, before signing off, here I have put up an image for you to see how these different creatures look like. So here you can see the lobster, the crab, the shrimp, etc. That's all for now, children. I hope you have enjoyed reading this lesson with me. I have enjoyed myself thoroughly. I will see you in the next class, children. Please take good care of yourself, keep learning, and have a good time. Bye-bye.